Welcome in to Moving the Chains. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside Jerel Hendricks. Got a great interview lined up for you guys today. A very special guest, the quarterback of the Gaffney Indians, Grayson Loftis. Grayson, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Doing well, man. Appreciate your time today. We really do. This is you guys' first time tuning in. Check us out, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all that stuff at Movin' Chains. Pretty simple to find us there. Also follow Grayson in the Gaffney program as well, because they do a great job keeping you guys up to date on all their stuff as well. So in 2021 as a junior, Grayson threw for over 2,100 yards and 21 touchdowns. Gaffney won Region 3 5A and defeated Dutch Fork for the 5A state title. Grayson, you recently committed to Duke University. Congratulations on that. You know, you're the first quarterback to commit under Coach Elko. How was that process, and how did you know that Duke was the place for you?
I think it started with the relationships. Coach Johns and Coach Elko, as soon as they got, their feet under them at Duke and everything, they reached out and started building that relationship. Coach Johns came to see me his third day on the job, and watched me throw a little bit and started building that relationship. And we went up for a visit. It was just home. The commitment they've made to football, not only with the staff and the people, but financially to truly turn the Duke football program around. Miss Nina King's done a great job taking over as the athletic director. So that they've taken the steps to make Durham a special place for football, and we want to be a part of that.
Now, Grayson, was it always your plan to commit before the season? And now that that's all behind you, how much of a relief is it that you can just go ahead and just focus on that senior season at Gaffney?
Yeah, so we had kind of had the end of June, kind of maybe end of July as that window we wanted to kind of commit in. And we were actually fortunate to get it done a little bit before that. But the goal was always to do it before the season started. Kind of the end of July was our cutoff. We wanted to be done. That way it wasn't, like you said, it was behind us. We could just go play ball. It's kind of a relief to have it behind you going into the season. Not have to worry about the recruiting and making the highlight films and whatnot. So, getting kind of all that done and out of the way was a huge relief.
So academics are important to us here as well at Moving the Chains. Have you made any plans for what your major is going to be yet at Duke?
I'm going to try and do economics. That's kind of where my mind's set on it. One of the quarterbacks at Duke, he started in it, says it's pretty hard, but trying to go and do it and feat that challenge.
That's awesome. So Grayson, you're no shy to media and things like that. You've been under the spotlight since your freshman year. You're the consensus #1 quarterback recruit in the state. You've been getting attention. What's it been like battling that pressure from an early age throughout your high school career?
Somebody told me my freshman year in high school that pressure was opportunity. I've kind of tried to balance that pressure as just it's a blessing to be in the situation, to be in the path that I'm on through high school. There's plenty of kids who play high school football and they don't get any of the attention. So there's being able to realize and kind of take the step back and just kind of try and live in the moment, enjoy it, not really stress it too much, and just kind of have fun with the whole process. At the end of the day, football is a game and it's designed to have fun. Trying to separate it from a little bit and the business side of football and you just be able to have fun a little bit and balance that pressure. That's kind of how we've done it the last 3 years.
Awesome.
Last year, you guys went undefeated and you beat Dutch Fork in a state championship game for the ages, one of the best we've ever seen here in the state. When did you guys know that you were capable of such a special season last year?
I think kind of from the start. The goal was, we coined at the beginning of the year was to add to the board. In our stadium, there's under our scoreboard has all 18 listed state championships that Gaffney High School's won in their history. So when I got there and I saw that, I kind of spoke to our receivers and I said, our theme for this year is going to be trying to add to that board, make them finish the row. So that was kind of the theme, and we knew we had the guys and the talent, and it was just a matter of working and getting there. And we got super close through that off season, and kind of through the season, just realized we got to 5-0, 6-0, one region, and then we ended up winning and beating Fort Mill, making it 10-0, and kind of realized at that point, well, guys, if we want to get our goal, it's 15-0 or bust. We realized that going in the playoffs, but we took it one game at a time and tried our best to accomplish that goal.
Awesome. And that title game was 22-19, if my memory serves me correct. You made some big-time throws down the stretch, clutch TD pass to Sugar Jeffries. What was the atmosphere like, down there in Columbia at Benedict and, being able to knock off such a behemoth in Dutch Fork?
Yeah, anytime, anybody ever asks me about that, I always speak to the fans of Gaffney, the town of Gaffney. We pulled in about 11:30, 12 o'clock that day to get there and get ready for the game. And half of our fans were already down there tailgating, having fun, enjoying the atmosphere, enjoying the game. It was the first time Gaffney had been to state in 9 years. So like the entire town of Gaffney shut down. I like to tell the story. The city of Gaffney bused two charter buses of fans down to the game. It was fun, and it was awesome to be a part of. We fed off that. We feed off our fans. When you look up at Benedict College and they're in a seat open on your side, and everybody's standing up, everybody's screaming. When the clock hits zero and you look up, and there's everybody in the stands is in tears, and you're in tears, and it's a blessing to be a part of. Gaffney's got the best fans for high school football in the state of South Carolina, and it's not even close. But the game itself, the atmosphere of that game was, it was a battle from the start. They jumped out early to a 7-0 lead, and then they were up 19-7 going into the fourth quarter. So it was that Gaffney. We just kept battling, kept playing. Our motto that's on our ring is just keep playing. That was kind of we coined it. After Dorman when we were down 14, and we just kept playing there. And so we just kept playing and kept battling, and we were fortunate to come out on top.
So looking back to, kind of current times now, how's the offseason been for you guys? How are 7-on-7s and things like that?
It's been a grind since, May came around with spring ball, and, we lifting throughout the offseason. It's been a grind. This team's a completely different team. It's new, that we lost a lot of production on offense. If you want to get down to the numbers, you lost about 3,300 yards of offense just on the ground between our two great running backs. Graduated 4 offensive linemen. So, we lost a lot, but we gained a lot. We got a bunch of young guys coming up to make an impact on Friday nights. And, for 7-on-7s, we'll end up winning the 7-on-7 in South Carolina, and, competing throughout different kind of round robin tournaments.
Awesome. So you did mention you guys did lose a lot from last year's team, but you're bringing those guys up. You're now the unquestioned leader. What's it been like in the off-season program and these 7-on-7s? How's it been, fostering camaraderie and, bringing that team together for the 22 season?
It's been a blast. I think this group of guys has a chance to be really special and be just as special as that last group we had. I think getting the chance to be a part of it and have fun with this group, it's just been the best way we've built that love and that chemistry that last year's team had. Is when it sucks and you're out there running 300-yard shuttles, but you just look to the guy on your left, guy on your right, and says, "All right, it sucks, but let's have fun while we do it." So that we've had fun, we've gotten through it. But it's been a blast to be a part of it and kind of be that leader on the field.
So for people who haven't seen you or the Indians play, maybe what's kind of you guys' offensive philosophy, and also what's kind of your style as a quarterback?
On offense at Gaffney, we're as balanced as possible. I think last year, if you broke down our numbers, we were like 60-40 run to pass. But we had 5 maulers up front, 2 of the best backs in the state, probably the 2 best backs in the state in the backfield. And so we're going to be as balanced as possible. And our game plan is going to change to what we're doing well, and what the defense has given us. And then me at quarterback is just doing whatever it takes to win. Whether that's turning around, handing the ball off 25 times or dropping back and throwing it 34 times. It's just a different. Each week's different. Each defense is different. So just being a relentless competitor, doing whatever it takes to win, and sacrificing in whatever way we have to get the win.
So who are some of the guys that you kind of look to maybe at the collegiate or the pro level, maybe to pattern your game after, or who you study to try to get better?
I think that the one guy that I look at the most is Joe Burrow, mainly because of the kind of the swagger and the confidence and the leadership style on and off the field that feeds into, their success. But also the play style a little bit, kind of that gunslinger. He's going to rip it all over the field. You're not necessarily worried about throwing the interception or the incompletion, but you're trying to fit it in just tight windows. Just kind of the understanding of the game and using your legs when you have to. But Joe Burrow is kind of the guy that recently I've started to look at and try and kind of model my game after a little bit.
That's a good one.
We know you guys lost a lot from last year on offense, guys like Ken Littlejohn, Tyler Smith, defense, Landon Bullock, Marquise Bradley, and guys like that. Who are some playmakers around you this year on offense and defense people may not know about that are going to be a big part of you guys' team this year?
Yeah, so I think it starts on the outside at receiver with us. We got Chug coming back, Deshaun Corey's coming back, Hollywood. Amazing Little John's coming back at receiver. So, there's 3 guys who had a lot of snaps last year coming back for us who can all help us. Then you were adding guys like Drew Medley, who's making the transition from quarterback to receiver. Clay Smith, who's making the transition. He's coming from DB to receiver, or not receiver, running back, coming off an injury from last year, on offense. And then up front, you got Johan, our center, who's coming back. He's the only returning offensive lineman. So, he's a guy making a big impact. And, I could go off and name Shedrick, our 10th grade left tackle, who's 6'6", got 76-inch arms. Like, he's a freak and he's a really good football player. JJ, our left guard, just guys all over the field on offense that nobody knows about because, well, they didn't have to do anything last year. That was kind of taken care of for them. And then on defense, you got guys coming back too up front, who were 10th graders last year who had huge impacts. And then, Brayshawn Littlejohn, who's a ball player that everybody knows across the state, started getting offers this offseason. And then Nate Johnson, who is making the transition from defensive end to outside linebacker, and just recently committed to App State today, actually, announced that at 12 o'clock today. So, there's guys all over the field. A lot of people would like to talk about what we lost, but I've always tried to change the narrative to what we gained. So there's the chance of going back to Columbia is there for us.
Awesome. So looking at your coach, you play for one of the best in the state, just legendary Coach Jones. What's it like playing for a man like that and a head coach like that?
Coach Jones, me and him have a special relationship just because of how I got to Gaffney. When I got there, he welcomed me with open arms, and he coached his tail off he coached me hard. He coached his tail off for us. He is the true definition of a player's coach. If it's going to come to hurting his players or somebody else, he's always choosing his players. He's going to do what's best for his players. He's the best head coach in the state of South Carolina. He's had arguably the most success in the state of South Carolina. And when you talk about a guy like Coach Jones, I think you'd be doing him a disservice to not herald him as one of the best head coaches in the state of South Carolina.
We got to agree with that, buddy.
For sure. He's got the rings to prove it, right?
That's right.
So with the recent realignment, you guys are going to Region 2-5A with just some powerhouse teams like Dorman, Spartanburg, Burns, Bowling Springs. How much is that going to help maybe prepare you guys for the postseason play this year?
Yeah, so last year we were in Region 3, and it was still a stacked region with Nation 4 and Clover and Bowling Springs, and we were still able to play the 3 classic rivalries. Those three big games, and then this year just gets moved into our region schedules. But when you stack a schedule like we do, I think if you look at our schedule, we played probably the toughest schedule in the state again this year, and we played the toughest schedule in the state last year. It's hard to find people to play us. So when you play schedules like we do, you roll in or that first weekend in November, prepared and ready to go.
Yeah, you mentioned that schedule. You guys open up with the 4A defending state champions in South Point. How preparation's gone so far? I know you guys got kicked off late last week with practice.
Yeah, it's been going well. We've had really good practices since we started on Friday. And you speak to who we start with week 0, and then you look down the road at our non-conference. It's South Point 4A state champion. Hammond's got multiple state championships. I think it's like 21 or 22 state championships, and they're private in that league that they play in. You got Fort Dorchester, who's a lower state runner-up. I think when you look at our schedule, and then you look at our region schedule of the powerhouses of the upstate. We weren't scared to play the best teams in the state. We weren't scared to schedule anybody.
So you kind of touched on this earlier, but for people who maybe not, aren't from the area, how cool is it to play such a passionate fan base that Gaffney has? They're going to show up every Friday night, no matter you're home or away, no matter where you are. Then also, the second part of that, how cool is it to play at the reservation?
I think speaking to the fans of Gaffney, I'll always have a special relationship with that group of fans. Especially my first year being here, they welcomed me with open arms. They made Gaffney my home forever. But like they're the most passionate fans on a Friday night. Whether it's at the start or at the finish, they don't leave early. They're always there. They're loud. The refs have a rough night when they come to the reservation because they're arguing every call. And so they want the best for Gaffney football, and they're there early. Wherever you go, you're always going to have more fans, whether you're on the road or you're at home. And the reservation is a special place to play at. It's the best stadium in high school football. It creates a really cool atmosphere. It creates a college game day like atmosphere. Especially when it's packed out.
All right, Grayson, we got a couple easy ones for you. getting ready for the game. What's on that pregame playlist? What's in the AirPods listening, getting ready for the game?
So this past year, I hadn't decided for it this year. I like to switch it up week to week. There's a little bit of country music, a little bit of classic rock. Sometimes it's slowed down music just to kind of calm my nerves a little bit, settle me down. But the go-to is probably Luke Combs. Just some straight country. A beer never broke my heart, or something like that. Just something to kind of get you going a little bit. Some Luke Combs, some country.
I love it. I actually went to a Luke Combs concert last Saturday night, so I'm all in on that, man. No problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
And also, another typical Moving the Chains question. We're over there in Cherokee County. We're in Gaffney. We want to get something to eat. We want the best meal. Where are we going?
Oh, the best meal. Carolina Cafe on Highway 11. It's just outside of the town of Gaffney. It's probably one of the best. It's probably the best restaurant. There's PYT's in downtown Gaffney. The famous one in Gaffney is Harold's. Guy Fieri's been to Harold's. It's pretty good too. So there's your kind of your three hole in the wall kind of home small restaurants that are pretty good.
Awesome.
So to wrap it up here, Grayson, what are some individual and team goals for the 2022 season?
I think team goals is just to go 1-0 every week. Everybody likes to talk about, you were 15-0 rolling into last year. Is there that semblance of a streak or whatnot that kind of plays in your head? And I think, at Gaffney, it's just 1-0 each week. Compete our tails off, do the best we can do, compete to the best of our abilities, and, the rest will take care of itself. And personal goal is just kind of similar. Just compete my tail off every week. Be a leader, be a guy that these guys can look at and be like, he's competing his tail off. He's not going to give up. The kind of guy they can look at and kind of feed off of my energy a little bit. And then ultimately the goal is to go win football games.
Well, this has been great. I really enjoyed it, man. Definitely want all our fans and listeners to go check out Grayson and the Gaffney program on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Stay up with those guys all season long. Also check us out, if you don't mind, at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, at Movin Chains, MOVINCHAINS. Also on Google Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, stuff like that. Jerel, any other questions for Grayson before we let him go today?
No more questions. Just wish Grayson continued success this year. Gaffney Indians, it's one of the biggest programs in the state. So a lot of pressure, but he handled it well. 15-0 last year. Just happy that he, left Blue Ridge so he didn't beat up on my Travelers Rest Devil Dogs anymore. But Grayson, very gracious with your time. We really appreciate it. And wish you well this season and when you continue your career at Duke. And just looking forward, I know we'll be covering Gaffney a lot. So you'll probably see us. I think we went to 2 games at the reservation last year. So we'll probably see you during the season, but all the best this year.
Yeah, Grayson, we appreciate it, man. You guys will be fun to follow this year for sure. So appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing the game here soon.
And I appreciate y'all for having me on.